Guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is a different kind of video again. I had this idea of sharing just a little bit of what I think about motherhood so far. It's 3 months postpartum, and I just have some thoughts that I thought maybe I would share and maybe someone else would relate with. And yeah, I just have a chit chat. It's just been 3 months, but I have some thoughts. These are just early reflections. Yeah, number one, motherhood actually makes you respect or appreciate your mother really more, a lot more. So I can't just begin to tell you how much now I appreciate all that my mom has done for me. Wow, like she came to visit me like the second day after birth. I didn't even realize I had forgotten to brush my teeth. I had a C-section, so the first walk was really hard, and she was there for me and she helped me walk. Like, you appreciate and you start to think, wow, this woman did all this for me all these years. It really makes you appreciate, and even for those who don't have their mothers, like they passed on, it makes you miss them more. I can only imagine how tough it is, but if you have your mom, you just want to hold on, like you're like, please come help me, please come help me, I don't know how to do this. But they just figured it out as the same way as we are trying to figure it out, but they ended up doing a good job. So it actually really makes you appreciate and respect your mother more. The second thing is that I think motherhood has done for me, it has made me prioritize. Like, I have to prioritize what's important in life. I can't just be all over the place. I have to prioritize, like, if I have to do something, do I need to do it, and I have to think of when to do it. You get, like, it's such a busy affair, a tiring affair, that you have to really plan your day and put your priorities straight, even when it comes to your money. So that's one thing that I really appreciate. I'm not on social media scrolling all day, because I know that the little time I have to put it to good use, and I have to make it make sense. You get, like, I have to spend my time wisely. Time is money. Yeah, so that's one thing that motherhood has taught me. Like, my priorities have to be straight, because right now there's someone dependent on me, and if I need to do something else, then I need to prioritize and do what's important. And I think that's a really good thing that I don't think I was like that before. My priorities, yes, were straight, but not as straight as they are right now. The third thing that I think about, that comes to my mind when I think about motherhood, is it is humbling. It is such a humbling experience to raise someone else. It is a lot of work and includes a lot of humility. I couldn't believe that I'm the one taking Uji. I even shared on my Instagram that I was taking oats just because I was trying to boost my breast milk production, because boys really eat, and I'm really trying to achieve the 6 months exclusivity, breastfeeding exclusivity. So it really humbles you. It humbles you also to a point that you just open your mind to what can I say, to learn this person. You don't have it all. If you thought, like, everything, like if you are an A student, you know that you will read, you'll revise, and you'll pass. This is such a humbling experience, because you have to learn someone new and open your mind to the possibilities of what could come out of this, and just hope for the best. So it's such a humbling experience in that sense. Another thing that I think about, that comes to mind when I think about motherhood, is it's such a blessing. If you have followed my journey, you would know that I had a miscarriage the first time I got pregnant, and I never ever envisioned that. I never thought pregnancy loss would be part of my story until it happened to me. Actually, never knew so much about miscarriages until it happened to me. So it's such a blessing that when I look back, and even if you followed my current the pregnancy now that I carried to term, it was such a tough journey, but I am just blessed and honored that God chose me to carry life and bring it forth to this life. So in that sense, I never take it for granted. And even though sometimes I want to complain and everything, I stop to my tracks and think, wow, God has brought me so far, and this is just a blessing. And many people would wish to be in my position but are not, and therefore I count my blessings when it comes to motherhood. I really count my blessing that I had a healthy baby boy and that God entrusted me to take care of this human being. So it is such a blessing in that sense. Another thing that I think about, that comes to mind when I think of motherhood, is just how much closer it brings you to God as a believer. Like, you are dependent on God. I tell you, labor, birth, everything is so unpredictable, and when you cross over to the other side, you just thank God. When something happens to your baby, you just pray to God. I mean, you just I commit this baby like to God every time, that he may gain favor with God and with man. And in that sense, it has brought me so much closer to God. You look for a nanny and you hope for a good one, and every time you leave your house, you've left a piece of your heart like behind, and only God can protect that child. I tell you, in that sense, it has really brought me close to God, such that I tell him my thoughts. Even when I was looking for a nanny, it's been a roller coaster kinda-ish, but when I finally landed on someone that I like, I was just so thankful, because at that point I was so tired, and I told God, please let this one be the one. And somehow he really answered me. So in a sense, motherhood brings you closer to God, in that sense, where you're completely dependent on him to take care, to help you take care of this little one, provide for this little one, and just be a very present mother. And also, you're just so honored that you would, in a sense, partner with God to bring life to this earth. Because trust me, before he knows you, before he knew this child, he formed this child. Before he I alone know the plans I have for you. I knew you even before you were in your mother's womb. So just thinking about it, that you partnered with God to bring another human being who has another purpose in life, his own or her own purpose in life, I think in that sense, motherhood just brings you closer to God than any other experience. Another thought that comes to my mind when it comes to motherhood is that, and this is in no way complaining, this is just a reality, is that motherhood is exhausting. Motherhood is tiring. You get so tired. I don't know what happens after birth and after labor. You just feel like you've been hit by a truck. You get so tired. There's a lot of fatigue, and it's tiring in the sense that, and now I understand why women say it's worthwhile, but I also understand how someone can fall into postpartum depression if they don't have the right support. So I won't, someone told me that it looks so glamorous, I look so good on Instagram, it looks like I'm rocking this thing, looks like I'm what do we call it, I'm really acing motherhood, like I have it figured out. I actually don't. Some days I am completely exhausted. And I'm just so thankful that I have a supportive partner and a supportive support system that I can rely on. But to be real, motherhood is very exhausting. There's so many sleepless nights, and you have to get your house in order, and you have to balance your other life. If you really don't want to forget myself, so I would like to work also on my things at the same time. Making sure your household is running. If you're a married woman, give time to your marriage. It is exhausting to a certain extent, but for me right now, it's exhausting but worthwhile, because I look at this human being and you end up smiling even if you're tired. But in a sense, I just understand how people get into postpartum depression. So if you know someone who's a new mom, I just advise you, please be there for them. Like, it is exhausting. Help them where you can with the baby. Take a nap, tell them express some milk, take a nap. Like, I'm so thankful my husband one night just saw me so tired, and when I get to some point, I just break down, because I'm like, everything is a lot and I don't want to complain, but it is the reality. And one night he just told me, give us milk, express, whatever you need, sleep in another room. I'll just do the night shift. And that meant, like, my love languages have changed. It's now like acts of service, though I still love goods, gifts, but to a large extent that meant a lot. Like, it is exhausting and it's just the reality. The final point that I want to say about motherhood is that it has to be intentional. It has to be very intentional. I have to be very intentional to be present, to be a present mom. Sometimes I'm on the phone and I'm like, he wants to play, and I'm like, is this important? You know, some of my work is on my phone, but as I said, I prioritize. But I have to be intentional that when I get home, if I was working, then I have to set time and be very present for this kid. So it brings the word intentional to a whole new sense, and that's also applies to fatherhood. And if you're not intentional, if you're not present, then there are long-term damages that may happen to your child. So for me, I have to be very intentional with everything that I do, and especially with motherhood, especially when you get a good nanny and all, you have to be intentional. My sister tells me these kids grow up so fast. Hold on to the little things. If you can decide, I'm going to be washing my baby, do it. Like, hold on to something that makes you bond with your child. And it's not so bad to, at the same time, accept help that you're tired. People don't really, there's no one who can really explain to you just how tiring motherhood is, but you just hold on to those little moments that will help you bond and be very intentional about being present for your child. So those are just a few of the early reflections that I have about motherhood. 3 months postpartum. I'll give a serious update on how I'm doing. I hope you like this look. This is at night. Like, this makeup was done at 1 and this is 10 when I'm filming, and this is how fresh it looks. If you like it, check her Instagram page. Her name is Eunice, and let me know your thoughts below. If you're a mom or if you're an aspiring mom, just let me know what you think about the thoughts that I have shared. If you resonate with them, if you don't agree with some of them, or if you have additional points, I'd appreciate so much in the comment section bonding with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you. Subscribe and comment. Bye bye.